Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Chris and I are back as we discuss Wishmaster 2 Evil Never Dies, directed by Jack Shoulder. The evil Djinn is awakened once more and must collect 1,001 souls to bring the apocalypse. This movie was made on a budget of 2.5 million and was made direct to video. Oh, harken back to the days when the home movie market was a thing.
This was great.
Streaming seemed like an abstract good idea, and then turned out to be absolute.
I tell you, I enjoyed this more than the first one.
My opinion is this is the best out of the four of them.
Is it?
To be honest,
this reminded me of what Evil Dead 2 was to the first one. I feel like the first one was accidentally entertaining. You know, when it didn't even mean to. Like the comedy was not really planned.
Yeah.
Whereas the second one, they kind of leaned into it. I feel like this is the same way. I feel like they realized that the success they had in the first one was more on the comedy side than the horror side, and they leaned into it a little bit more, which is right up my alley. I love that part.
No, makes sense. Yeah, but this is my favorite out of the four of them. The fourth one's weird when we get there, okay. But it's been ages since I've seen three. Like I'm talking about watching these in the early 2000s. So,
is Wishmaster in space?
No, we never got that. Unfortunately, such a shame.
Just add in space to something. That helps.
But yeah, we'll start off with this one with a museum robbery. Because if you're a bunch of punk kids or junkies, what the place you go to do a robbery is a museum where you have to have specialist fencing operation, you know, international. Like you just don't go sell it in the corner.
It was that was a weird plot point because they do not look like the fine arts aficionados. Like even if you steal it, you still have to find a way of selling it on the black market, unless you're just going to hang them up in your apartment. Now I did notice Morgana did have like a really nice painting behind her in her living room in her apartment, so I guess she is a fan of art, but it seems like an awful lot of trouble to go through unless you're going to try to sell it. And I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot easier places to rob.
Yep. I think we just needed the plot to go to the statue where the ruby's held.
Yeah.
I think that's just what we needed. I mean, we needed the plot to put the characters there. And this was it.
But even like a line or two of dialogue just explaining why they're, robbing a fine arts studio, I think would have made sense to me. But
or someone just putting them up to it, using them. I've got this contact. He says this is great. He'll take care of it. Blah blah blah. Done.
Yeah. I very easily buy into premises. You just got to give me something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when they're cutting like the painting, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. Instantly, $500,000 off the value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I couldn't figure that out.
Rusty Stanley knife.
At first I was like, why don't you just take the frame? And then I was like, well, maybe they have like an alarm built into the frame and they know that if they take the frame off, the alarm will go off. And I was like, I was proud of myself that I figured out why they didn't do it. And then literally a second later, they smashed the glass.
Like the thing, right? If something's in glass and like a kid, you don't break the glass. That's,
Yeah.
Do you remember the old days? I don't know if you've had over there, but you had the like magnetic strip along windows or like in jeweler stores and stuff.
I've seen like Mission Impossible type things where they have to get that off first, right?
Yeah, because if that breaks, that's a circuit, and if that breaks, as in the glass shatters, it sets off an alarm.
Yeah.
Probably a better way of doing it. Yeah, they love to use infrared and all now and motion detectors, but yeah, that was old school. Like you saw that, you don't break the glass, but if something set out like that, you don't.
Yeah,
it'd be silly.
Infrared is the way to go. Not necessarily that it's the best way, but it makes it look way cooler when the villain can, maneuver around it. And that's just fun for everybody.
It only works if you're Catherine Zeta-Jones. Everyone has tried to copy that and failed.
Yeah.
It's like people trying to be Catwoman. Sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer wins. Always. She can do it now and she still win.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Job done. You know what I mean?
Job done.
Yeah, and then we end up having like a full-on shootout.
Yeah, this is like I was watching that and I was
Is this a mob museum?
Yeah, these guards need a raise. Like I feel like most guards are just like open the door and like let them out these days. Like who's putting their life on the line for their museum job? In a shootout.
Yeah, it's quite taking your job seriously. Then again, we do have the internet now, and the best one I saw was what was it? There was a police officer went. It was over here. Obviously, your side of the point because you're all nuts over there.
Yeah.
Police officer went into Tech's place, and one of the security guards tried to arrest him because he was in uniform, so he had his pistol and stuff. And this fucking security guard,
Yeah,
pulled his own pistol on him, and you're like, "How's this happening right now? How's this unfolding in reality? Like, you just what's the cognitive thing happening here?"
no, it makes no
And the
sense.
police is just like, yeah, okay, call the other police, and yeah, blah blah blah. And he's just shaking his head, going, "Is this actually happening?"
Yeah, yeah. No, but once I see if I'm a guard, pull the gun out, you try to get them to stop. But once they start shooting at me, you know what? Just go ahead. I'll be in the back corner. I'll say that you locked me up. In fact, I'll tie myself up.
Yeah, it's.
But it was.
This is where we meet Eric for the first and last time, and to be honest, it'd be better just dying because I love the practical effects. I love the appearance of the Djinn. They did it with the first one as well.
Yeah,
and it's classic practical 90's era 2000s, effects, just pus, gore, and even a bit in the wall where he pushes his face through.
yeah. It's amazing. I guess dated practical effects versus dated CGI. Dated practical effects are like almost the same as now. And dated CGI is like so obvious and so
a week,
dark.
A month, even a year, and a CGI stuff just dates and it's horrible.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you did this practical effects now, it's probably cheaper. More materials are available. You could 3D print whatever you need, and it just if things are more accessible, so you could do it probably a little bit better. But it's not much of a difference at all.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
And there's something about that visceral, things popping and a bit of slime and stuff, and the actual physicality of pushing through something. And you see it.
Exactly.
Classic example has to be the original A Nightmare on Elm Street and the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street, where they copied the iconic Freddy pushing through the wall scene, and they did it in digital effects, and it was horrendous. It was an insult. Gotcha. And somebody in the studio thought that was going to be better.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it was just used, what was it, a bed frame or not? I think it was a bed frame up against the wall and basically a sheet, and then a bit of grain, post editing over the top for the original, and that's still iconic to this day.
Yeah, I don't want to be kicked off the channel, so I'm not going to admit that I didn't see the 2010 one.
That's all right,
but I'll take your word for it.
I refused to watch it for about 15 years. I only did it because Cameron and I were going to do it as a remake on the channel.
Okay.
I refused to. I didn't go to the cinema to see it. I refused. I was one of those people. If it's not Robert Englund, I don't want to know.
Oh, it wasn't Robert Englund. Oh, okay.
No, it was Jackie Earl Haley, and I like Jackie Earl Haley. He's a good actor, and he played Rorschach in The Watchmen.
Okay.
You haven't seen The Watchmen either?
I did see The Watchmen.
Oh, so you know Rorschach guy? That's Jackie Earl Haley.
Okay.
He was in Preacher series. He's been loads of. He's one of them gritty, sort of gravelly actors.
Yeah.
But the plot just messed it up. But I'm just saying that's a classic example of practical effects, and they replicate the same shot in CGI, and somehow think it's going to look better.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, Eric just gets.
And the thing about the part with Eric that bothered me a little bit, and I know this is not the kind of movie to like overthink, but that's kind of my thing. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, really,
I've been known to once or twice. But where he says he wishes he was never born, I was like, I'm thinking this is going to be some monumental thing. None of the other characters in the movie are going to remember him. This is going to have like really drastic consequences. and instead he just becomes a baby and dies. But everyone remembers him.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Morgana keeps asking, like, how come they didn't mention him in the news and stuff like that, and it didn't really have any consequences. I mean, if he wasn't born, she might have not even gotten into crime. I thought this was going to be like a major plot point, and it was really just the fact that he died. He might as well just said, "I wish I had died." You know,
Is this
I
down to the
dead.
wording though? That's the thing with wishes and that, and you have to be tricky. If he wished he had never existed, would that have different connotation to never being born?
But if he was never born, how does Greg and Morgana still know about him?
Like it's one of them. Yeah.
I feel like the Djinn, he he has a lot of leeway how he wants to interpret these wishes.
I think that's the point.
Yeah,
it's the old story in time. Be careful what you wish for; you just might get it.
But I mean,
the Djinn has the ability to, unless you box him in, and I think that's all part of it. He can play up to a certain point, and you have to figure out how to box him in.
Right. But I mean, these rules that he seems to be hampered by, very, very loose in when he wants them to be, you know?
Because if Eric hadn't been born, he wouldn't have committed the robbery, blah, 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 back.
I thought that was going to be a big plot point. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it's not a big deal.
I think we'll have to, well, this sort of movie, like, it's not a thought piece.
I know.
It's a creature feature. It's a fun creature feature of its era.
For sure.
And I think you have to, like, just munch the popcorn a bit. Just, okay, yeah, shiny lights.
And I did. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it tremendously. But
this is back to a point I make repeatedly. If you feel like the creators are trying to entertain you, you'll let certain things slide.
Absolutely.
It's when you feel like they're not trying to entertain you, or don't care, or think, or basically treat the audience with contempt, as in, I'm just doing this as a cash in. I don't care about you. Just pay your money and go away. You know what I mean? If you get that impression, and it's hard to quantify.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like doing these reviews with you, I feel like there's certain things that I've learned. And like, one is intent has a lot to do with enjoyment of a movie. The creator's intent. If you feel like the creator is intending to push a message or a viewpoint, it becomes very jarring, and you're not as likely to.
Even if you agree with it.
Even if you agree with it,
that's the whole point. It's all about delivery and intent. It's even if you agree with the point. If somebody's like being really obnoxious, you're like, nah.
Yeah. Nah. I've also learned that budget has very little correlation to whether it comes out good. Mm-hmm. Movies that are $250 million budgets have not been as good as ones that are, 10, 15. So there's certain trends that you pick up after doing these reviews, which has been one of the fun things. Is, it's fun to individually review it, but you also get like a big picture appreciation of movies and understanding of movies after a while.
Yeah, that's one thing I've found in this journey as well. It's you start to see things.
Yeah.
You start to notice, and then it changes your paradigm, how you look at things.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
exactly.
Yeah, and then straight away he's coming out and just talking about fulfilling the prophecy and all, just jumping ahead to like, I'm just going to fulfill this prophecy. That's it. Job done. No bother.
I didn't understand why he would broadcast that. You'd think he would want to keep that close to the vest, because if he doesn't like tell people that he has to get to like 1,000 souls, like they may not put up as much of a fight,
Is it one of those things that it just sounds so ridiculous that your brain goes and doesn't process it?
Yeah, maybe. But I wonder if he would have been better off just like keeping that on the down low. Like no one knows what happens after 1,000 souls, so they're not going to be all out to try to prevent them from doing it. And then, all of a sudden, big surprise. But obviously, I know as a viewer, they have to, give us the exposition that there's consequences with this, to have the stakes. But it was just, it doesn't make sense why he would tell the other characters about it.
Yeah, it's just so brazen, and
Yeah.
I like Devov plays this character that like he's.
Oh my gosh!
This is his iconic character. Like I just wish this had got more I don't know why it's not in the zeitgeist as much as it is. It's one of these series that were, you know, people put up like your favorite horror characters and all this. I just think Devoff playing the Djinn is brilliant. He just embodies the
Yeah,
role. He brings that cheeky sense of humor to it, you know, as he understands the world around him.
yeah. I feel like there's certain horror genres where like the main characters or the villain is somewhat interchangeable. Like if it's got a good story, you would really would have been good no matter what. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like my enjoyment of it is like 90% this actor. He was absolutely phenomenal. He's just got such a presence to him, but it's also not it's sinister, but it's also in a fun way. It's
Mm-hmm.
over the top sinister, you know?
Yes, twirling mustache, wahaha, you know, Dick
Exactly.
Dastardly type villain.
Exactly. So I like looked up some interviews because I was like really curious. Obviously, I've never seen him in anything besides this, and he's like the nicest guy. It's
Oh,
really
wait,
funny
is that really a surprise?
but but the interesting thing is he speaks 9 languages, and I wonder if that somehow because there's a part in this movie where he speaks Russian, and he
Mm-hmm.
speaks Russian fluently in real life. And like I wonder if some of that played into the credibility of that performance. But he's just great. He's absolutely phenomenal. I love when people try to mess with him and he just stares at them.
Yeah, yeah, you know, that's it. Just
Obviously, I can't do it, but he's great at it.
yeah. A character that I do not like, I cannot get behind at all, and this is Morgana, the main protagonist. I,
Which is
I, I just she doesn't do it for me.
which is a shame because she's the main protagonist. You're supposed to be rooting for her, but as protagonists go, one that robs people, kills innocent security guards, and it's just like a whiner or whatever, and runs to Greg, and doesn't really care that much about Eric. Like it was tough to get behind her. Yeah, easy on the eyes, but she was tough
But
to
that's
yeah, tough to root
even
for.
even that. Maybe it's an older thing, but even when I was younger, that didn't really impress me with movies. Like, there's
Yeah,
loads of attractive people in the world. Like, for example, let's go back to Wishmaster 1. Alexandra's character, you got what her, you know, I mean, she just got herself in a crazy situation and had to
yeah,
deal with it. And she was relatable.
yeah.
But this Morgana, once again, it's the movie goth chick, isn't it? It's this trope of
Mm.
the sultry, bad girl goth type, whatever, generic old person, and it's boring.
Yeah, but it was kind of all over the place because she's tough, she's goth, she, robs and stuff like that. But then she also like runs to her ex-boyfriend, you know, and doesn't very seem very goth and very tough at times.
You mean a whiny attention seeker, like
Yeah,
actual
whiny
goths?
attention. Yeah, so it was
That's
kind of.
that's actually what goths are like.
Oh,
They're
okay.
Yeah, they're exhausting to be around.
Yeah,
They literally drain your energy
yeah, for
because
sure.
they've just got that. They try to play the whole morose and sometimes thing, and they can't separate fantasy from reality. So their character. No, I mean, there's a time if you're out in a nightclub or something, you play your character, you dress up and you go out, but then you have to function in the real world, and they can't uh, have a cognitive dissonance. They can't like switch gears.
Cognitive dissonance. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I wasn't ready for this today. I
Oh,
gotta
great.
get my
Just a moment.
thesaurus.
Sorry, I've been reading lately. Sometimes I read and then big words appear in my head. But you know what I mean? They just can't. Yeah, they can't separate their character from their personality.
Yeah, no, I think you
And
nailed it. That's a great way to put it. Yeah,
and it was all part of. I mean, there's loads of what was it, like Scott Pilgrim versus World and all these type of characters. These all chicks, whatever, were put forward, and honestly, it doesn't do it for me.
yeah. But yeah, so I really wasn't rooting for her. I was rooting for the villain more than her. Not that I wanted him to succeed, but I couldn't wait for her scenes to end and get onto his
She
stuff.
wasn't. She wasn't inspiring.
It wasn't inspiring. Yeah, all the stuff at the jail with him. That was the heart of the movie.
Yeah,
That I could have watched the whole movie of just him.
that could have been a TV series.
Yeah, yeah. Like a Game of Thrones type, but he's like the king of the jail, and everyone comes to him and makes wishes, and they think they get what they want, and then
and then the series just goes on till the 1001, person appears.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had he's in the collective jail cell. I think that's the police station one, isn't it?
Oh, in the beginning where he first gets arrested?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's getting interrogated by the police chief.
Yeah, no, but when he goes into the jail cell and he has Hobo Man trying to, shake him down to steal his shoes.
Oh, right. Yeah, you like a holding cell. Yeah. So in the States, you could be held for up to 24 hours before you're actually charged with something. And then if you're not formally charged after 24 hours, then they have to let you go. In most states, then they have to let you go. So that was like the holding cell to see if they were going to bring criminal charges against him. And which is weird because, he was caught red-handed. He probably could have skipped past that part.
I don't think he wanted to.
What's that?
I don't think he wanted to.
Not for the movie, but I'm saying like for the criminal justice system could have got him right. And I mean, He was obviously caught red-handed, supposedly killing the security guard. But yeah, no, that holding cell was great with the guy trying to. I was hoping someone was going to try to rough him up.
But yeah, I just want to walk right out of here. Yeah, okay. Think of where that's going to go.
Yeah. That I saw that one coming. Not quite that way, squeezed in. But some of the wishes I feel like were, very unfair. He's really twisting it to. For example, one of the jailers, the big tough black guy. He wishes that I wish we could dance for an hour or something like that.
For what was it? No, for 2 minutes, Compton style. Basically, I want 5 minutes in the room alone with you, so I can beat that, not going to let them melt out of you.
Right. How does that turn into I want to be brutally murdered myself?
Well, he wants to. But then again, in the jailers, he thinks he's fighting a human.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you're dealing with a supernatural entity.
I'm just saying, sometimes I think the Djinn really plays fast and loose with these wishes.
He's a shithead.
I know.
If you haven't twigged on, he's not a good character. He's an absolute scumbag. And he gets off on it.
Yeah.
And he wants his mates to come over and have fun too and rip the world apart.
Yeah.
You think he's got to play nice?
No, you're right. I think some of my favorite bits in this movie is when he doesn't understand modern technology. I wish they had leaned into that a little bit more. Like there's one part where he's Morgana comes to visit him in the jail, and she picks up the phone to talk to him, and he like looks over. Oh.
But then sometimes he uses modern language, and
yeah.
But then I think if we go back to the first movie, like when he met the first homeless guy,
right?
And then he gets it and he picks up and he looks at the cigarette and he smokes it for the first time. This is the 20th, back then obviously the 20th century, but you know what I mean. And then he starts to imbue the knowledge of the world, and as he takes each soul, he gets it. So
yeah,
I don't know. I like those little moments and stuff. He's still not quite there, and he's only picking up, and he's not exactly picking the best people.
No, he's not.
If you're going to be wanting to solve your world or your whole life with wishes and wishful thinking, then you're not in a good place anyway. So
that's true. But to me, I think my favorite scene in the entire movie, because it takes place a little bit after this, was the lawyer. where the guy wishes that his lawyer takes it in the
to go and fuck himself.
yeah, go fuck himself.
But that was a double entendre. He got the prisoner got screwed over twice. The lawyer was going to get him off because he'd actually figured it out.
Yes, that's right.
And then that's it. By doing that, he lost his chance.
Yeah, but I think that one scene epitomizes the best part of this movie. It's got a sci-fi, it's got a horror element. I mean, what happened to the lawyer is technically terrifying and awful, and he doesn't even know what's happening to him. But it's got that sense of humor, and it's got a dark humor, and it's twisted. Like, I think that scene epitomizes why this is successful as a movie.
Yeah, it just leans into all
hilarious.
Those elements.
Yeah.
Like, if this was nice and safe and sanitized, you'd just be like, huh?
Right.
But also, if it was like super dark and serious, and you lost the fun element.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it does strike a nice balance. Like I said, I enjoy these. I just remember back in the day, they're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Do you remember Fun?
I do remember it. Yeah.
Do you remember when everyone wasn't trying to be like super serious about everything, and there was a thing called just laughing and enjoying yourself that was allowed?
That's right.
Yeah, I remember those days.
That's right.
How does somebody going to a church manage to like make it inappropriate?
That's true.
What else was she going to start kissing? Was she going to start kissing the benches and all next? I don't know. I'm not a papist, so I don't know what they do. But she's like, beep, 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 all over the show. And you're like, bloody hell, calm yourself. I know you're a slapper, but God's sake.
It almost seemed like they really weren't invested in trying to make her likable for the audience.
It's strange, isn't it? She is.
Yeah.
Not likable at all. And then...
Which... Normally, when you do something like that, it means that you want to have a twist where the main character gets killed, and you don't want the audience to be too upset. So that's why I kind of thought that was going to happen. And then not to get ahead of ourselves, but her ending was very similar to the first movie, which that was the only thing that when we get to it, I wasn't as thrilled with, just because it really seemed like with some of these scenes with her, making her very not likable, they were trying to set us up or brace us that something was going to happen to her.
But I think they were trying to make her likable. Like I said, it's this trope they were trying to push.
Okay.
At that time, if you think The Craft, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and loads of movies where the goth chick, there's this Hollywood stereotype of a goth chick that they're trying to push.
Yeah.
And they thought that was cool and edgy and, and at the end of the day, it's just obnoxious.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Hollywood. They don't understand people. Once people get into that fart chamber and smell each other's farts, their brain does rot.
Right.
And that's the problem. They're their own little bubble in the world, and they think they can... So, for a while they could, like even back now, then they could, because there was, once again, that intent there to entertain you. But it's just got to a point now where they can't, because the intent's gone and there's no connection with humanity.
Yeah.
But this was a trope. Late 90s, early 2000s, they were trying to push, and every edgy alt girl was like this. And it was, like I said, it was exhausting.
Yeah. See, I wonder if they tried to make a movie like this now. Obviously, if they made it, Wishmaster 5, they would have a better chance because Hollywood loves sequels. But if they tried to make an original movie with this, tone, theme, I don't think they could. I think the studio would say, well, what's the message? What's the point? Why are we making this? Why are we investing $5 million in this? And you just be like, oh, just for fun. And they'd be like, well, then do it yourself. Do an indie movie. We're not investing money if it's just for fun. I really feel like that's kind of the reaction the studio would give it these days.
And then we'll go splurge $500 million on something shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, then we'll meet Gregory, the priest. And you're just... he should have just turned around and walked back into his chamber again. When he walked out and he saw it was her, he should just turned around, walked back, closed the door.
Yeah. I thought he was an interesting character. You don't see a lot of priests in movies, you know, like, or at least not. Well, you do see a lot of priests, but I mean, like, where they become.
That's right. So, you're new to the horror genre, aren't you?
That's true. That's true.
Are we going to have to go through the whole nunsploitation, like the whole nunsploitation series of movies, like all 5,000 of them?
No.
All the Exorcist type movies.
What I meant is like a lead, like not a lead, but a romantic interest type of,
They really tried hard with us, didn't it? And it's like,
yeah,
like he does it with it. Let's be honest. He, like, getting away from her is probably the best thing he did in his life.
Right. Although I don't know if at the end it looked like he
broke his vows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they needed a sex scene, I suppose, or they had the one. Like,
right.
Now, him, once again, didn't feel much sympathy for him because if he had any sense whatsoever, especially having been through it with her, like, nah, he should have run a mile, just went back out. And
I was wondering how much he was going to put up with because, like, first he's like, she tells him Eric's dead, and then he has some sympathy. And then he finds out that she robbed the the museum or whatever. And then he's like, "Oh, that's awful," but he's still not running to the police. And then she's like, "Yeah,"
and she didn't do it in the wee box, so he wasn't bound by stuff.
Right.
When they say it in the wee box, it's supposed to be can't tell, but she didn't. She just told him. So he should have. He was like making the wish, clause. Okay, you didn't do it in the wee box. I can tell the police. Yeah.
Yeah. He has no obligation to her. This is a former love interest. And she admitted to him that she robbed the museum. And then at that point,
and not just that, but killed someone.
Well, I was just going to say, and I was like, at that point, he probably should be like, all right, I'll go to the police. But even if he wants to give her a pass for the moment, as soon as she then says, and also I feel terrible, I murdered this poor security guard. You know what? That's where you hit the button and you take the elevator down and you go right to the police. So I don't feel bad for him because once he, avoids doing that and do the right thing, then
and they obviously haven't fallen after throughout this movie. But as I said, this is a start. It was up far back was trying to push this strong, independent woman trope, and they did it through the golf chick. And what they do is they just make her an unlikable character.
Yeah,
that's one of the earliest examples. Sorry, Jennifer Lawrence, somebody got to you first before you got there first before you.
Oh no, Jennifer Lawrence. It's a drinking game. Jennifer Lawrence mentioned.
Ah, dear. Yeah, and then we'll go to the best part of this movie has to be in the prison. Like, that was just
I could have watched 2 hours of that.
Yeah. That was just absolute gold. He just doesn't give a shit. Like, in the way he wears his uniform and everything else, just.
Yeah. And they try to put him in the hole, and he's like, I was in a hole for 1,000 years. Like, this is fine.
What's this? Doesn't even affect him. And yeah, and then like I said, Robert, poor guy. Like, he did it, you know what I mean? He did stuff he was just trying to get off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the strange indignation that prisoners have of, I did the thing, but I actually call for it. This is injustice. Oh, like, career criminals, man, honestly.
Yeah. But even like the kung fu, the guys practicing kung fu, and it was just so great. It was so cheesy. Every minute of that, all the jail scenes were just absolute gold.
Yep, and then the fact that because they keep having to remind us that Morgana's in this movie as well, so he keeps like saying the dreams and stuff. I honestly think that was just to try to do a bit of eye candy, the bedroom scenes. Like I said, they're just trying too hard. And when they're trying too hard, I don't respond.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with it. I'll be honest. I was okay with the bedroom scenes, but it is interesting though that the Djinn and her seem to be connected, and we saw this in the first movie too. That it seems like in the first movie the protagonist is somehow witnessing all of these murders that
Mm-hmm.
take place where people wish, and her, it's portrayed in her dreams, but even sometimes when she's awake she's aware of some of the murders, if not all the murders that he's doing, and they do seem to have this connection, the Djinn and her. And Colin, good friend, it got me thinking.
Did you start doing the thinking stuff again?
Yes, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, we know what that leads, don't we?
It does. Only one place.
Yes, let's do it.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris. Chrissy Chris. Chris's crazy theory.
Tell me your thoughts then, my son.
Was that the leprechaun?
I'll switch over to children.
But yeah, so it did get me thinking, the Djinn and her seem to have this connection. And when we're first introduced to the protagonist, her name was Morgana, for the audience sake. We find her robbing from an art gallery or museum, and she's mixed up with the bad person, Eric. And she narrowly avoided death from a shootout with the guards. Just try to catch up the audience in case they're catching us, from this moment on. But if we could show that first slide, just to give you a recap. Thank you, sir. So this is a recap of, you can see with the black eyeshadow, they're definitely going for the goth look. Because didn't she have like a hood over her face with the black eyeshadow?
Yeah, right. Really obviously, we'll have to see what the character looks like.
Yeah, maybe she wanted to keep it up in her eyes like a football player. But she's definitely mixed up. Her life, if it were to continue unabated, unchecked, would not have ended up well. I mean, she narrowly died in the shootout, and she's mixed up in crime. Like, she doesn't have much of a future, if you ask me, which you haven't. But then if we go to the next slide,
well, you need to do that.
So the Djinn is the one. What's that?
I said you need to do that.
So oh, that's right. I just like to pretend that I have like a whole.
Are we having a bad day?
I have like an. No, I like to pretend that I have an entire crew, that like a production crew.
Oh,
there's
right,
like a director behind the scenes, and there's in my head, there's a lot of us in here. But yeah, so this, the Djinn is the one that stopped the bullet, and in a way saved her life in more ways than one, as we'll continue. Next slide, please.
Yes,
so,
master.
So the Djinn is released by her accidentally. It's really the bullet that released her. But from this moment forward, there's a connection between the two of them. So this is the only aspect of this death that I could show without being banned from YouTube. But this is the part that we had talked about, where the guy in the holding cell, wishes to walk through those doors and free. So Morgana is now connected with him, and she sees and feels all the subsequent deaths, including this one. And I'll show you that. So she's witnessing what he's seeing. And I just wanted to show the slide. But you can, so they're connected. She feels all of these deaths in her mind, right? Almost as if this is all happening in her mind. And we'll put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. There's no one there. Next slide. We see Greg. So we also learn that Morgana, cares deeply about this guy, Gregory, and Gregory believed Eric was the wrong guy for her. What's that?
Does she though?
Oh, I think this
Morgana
was
cares about
the love of her life.
I think there's only one person in the world Morgana cares about, and that's Morgana. I don't think she has the capability to consider. She's just not that. She's just that type of person.
True, but sometimes the right person can help lead you on a better path in life and help change you for the better. And I think that she would have had a much better life had she stayed with Gregory. And for whatever reason, she got mixed up with Eric, and her life was heading in a very bad place. And she could have been killed in that shootout. So, yeah. So at the next slide now, at the end of the movie, that's when she learns her lesson about using the wish to save the prison guard that she had shot. All right. So I know we're recapping kind of the entire plot of the movie, but this is important for my point coming up here. So once she wishes that, once she does the right thing, and save the prison guard, everything starts to reverse. Almost as if the events never took place at all. If you notice the way things end up, everyone in the movie that had died went back to where they were. Right? So the Djinn starts to, go back into the what do you call that? The jewel, the gem, or whatever was trapping him. So yeah, everything goes back the same. All the characters in the movie are the same except for Morgana. Morgana remembers all of it, and that you get the impression by this last scene where she's hugging Greg that she's definitely changed for the better. She's going to stop doing crime. I got the impression that everything is going to be different now because she's learned this life lesson that the Djinn has taught her. I feel like that's why the director holds on to the shot of them hugging for as long as he does, to indicate that their future is going to be together and that things are going to be different. How could they not, after what she went through, almost losing her life, all those people, 1,000 people almost murdered, almost the entire world collapsing. So I absolutely think that she's going to change. And where we see this outcome before, in the first movie, very similar. At the end of that movie, the Djinn is captured back in the jewel, or whatever you call it, and it's almost a coincidence that in both Wishmaster movies, the Djinn accidentally ends up helping the main character.
You'd almost think it's a
movie,
trope or a formula that they use for each of the movies.
I do, but I think it's more than that. So, let's see. Yeah. So yeah, the character that's what I was trying to find. Alexandra. So Alexandra had ignored Josh her whole life, right? And had that continued on, she would have lived her life not realizing what she was missing out on. And then after the events of the first movie, she changes for the better, and she ends up with Josh and ends up with a happy ending. So in both cases, the Djinn just happened to accidentally, it seems, help the main character lead to a better life. And we've seen this plot before in another movie, this one a non-horror movie, or story, I should say, A Christmas Carol. Now, in A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, the main character, Ebenezer Scrooge, of course, I have to pick this version because I'm a big fat child. But the main character, Ebenezer Scrooge, is a miser who's only concerned about money. He's alone. He's unhappy. And then his former partner, who happens to be deceased, Jacob Marley, visits him and begins to scare Ebenezer into changing his ways, along with the three ghosts, of course. But it's very similar. So we have Jacob Marley, very similar to the Djinn character, who ends up inadvertently, it seems to us as the viewer, changing their life for the better, the protagonist in both cases. So yeah, at the end, Ebenezer was never actually in danger, right? Just like Alexandra and Morgana were never injured by the Djinn. If you notice in both movies, they were terrified, sure, but they're never actually hurt. The only injury in both movies is when Morgana, cuts her own pinky off or whatever, because I don't know.
Because she became a member of the Yakuza all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows 90% of the evil inside of you is in your left pinky. So good call on that. But yeah, the main characters were never in danger. So I think this is all a way of the Djinn actually helping these characters change their ways by scare tactics. Much like, in the prison system, Scared Straight program, They have that in the States where they take, juvenile delinquents. They show them what a prison looks like. They show them what their future is like. And then by the end, they're scared straight. And, they're put on the right path. So I think the Djinn isn't really an evil creature, as many people think, intent on taking over the world. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to open up your mind, man. Groovy, baby. What I'm saying is that the Djinn in both movies, his only real objective is to help scare the main character straight for the better, change their lives for good. Wishmaster, more like wish granter. That's what I'm saying. This guy is a good guy, and he's changing lives for the better, one movie at a time. Thank you.
All right then. So, well, considering the actor's excellentness here and the protagonist is shit, I can't believe that actually he's a good guy. But all right then, there you go, folks.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris and Chris. Chris and Chris. Chris's crazy theory.
I really thought you were going to go with the right penis prevents the apocalypse.
That's next week. Tune in next week.
Is that it? Yeah, for get the right penis inside you and it prevents the apocalypse. Just, that's just where I was going. And maybe the wrong
write
place.
that one down.
Pen
Pencil that
for
one
later. Bend over and take it for the sake of the world.
Much like that poor lawyer did.
Oh dear man. Yeah, it's hard to. It's just hard to believe there's anything good about Morgana.
Yeah,
it's just.
You would have been happier for her if she was more likable, but you do get the impression that he completely saved her life. The Djinn, if he wasn't there, that bullet goes through her from the security guard and her life is over. So not only was he there to block the bullet, but by going through this whole process, he's really changed her whole life. Now, I think it's inadvertent, probably. I don't think he's really a great guy, but you could look at it from a certain point of view, and that no one in the movie was hurt except for her and her pinky.
Fair enough. I love the way that was her attempt at a less slutty look or something, her redemption arc, like And I love the way as well, when she goes through a redemption thing, to absolve herself, she goes to it looks like a different church or something. Because Gregory doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Gregory doesn't absolve her sins or help shrive her or whatever, she doesn't get shrimmed through him. She goes somewhere else, then comes back, and then her first thing to do is to basically corrupt him.
Yeah.
Get him in the sack, which is like, okay, right.
Yeah, she's not exactly girlfriend material.
No, that's run a mile. That's Saturday night, bit of fun.
Right.
Call yourself a taxi, don't leave your number, go away.
Right.
That's not, don't invite that into your home sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's true. He is such a simp.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if that was a weird editing thing, but you're right. It did look like she went to a different church, which wouldn't.
Didn't it when she's going through the whole ritual process and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and
like different people doing it.
And I thought they could have done the pinky thing a little different. I thought they could have done a little Evil Dead where he cuts off his hand because his hand is evil. They could have done something where it didn't make sense why she thought her pinky.
I didn't bother even looking up if that was part of a church thing, because the only thing I know that is the Yakuza. Is if somebody messes up in the Yakuza, then they offer usually a finger as a absolution.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
So to the Yakuza boss, then it's a Japanese honor thing.
Okay.
So, don't know, like I said, I'm not a papist, so I don't understand their weird rituals, but I haven't seen many going about with missing pinkies.
I think
it doesn't seem to be a thing.
nothing that I was familiar with. The one thing you could say is if it's one of those things at the end where she's like, "Was this all a dream?" Because, like I said, everything seems to revert itself to before the crime.
Well, if the pinky grew back, and I love the way she has a huge bandage.
She does have oversized bandage.
That's freaking humongous. We'll get it.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then we'll have this weird scene as well where Gregory decides he's going to visit the Djinn. He goes in civvies.
Yeah. Well, what I thought about that is like maybe it's like those cop movies where like they leave their badge on the police chief's desk and they say, "I'm not going to be a cop today," and then they go to the criminal's house and beat the crap out of him. So they're like not on duty, so they could do stuff that's outside of the law.
But what did he do? That was he just wanted to speak to him. Go, what's your story or something?
I think he wanted to be more intimidating and try to tell him to stop, but then once you get
not right. I'm sorry, but that guy that plays Gregory is not intimidating in the slightest.
No,
he is a wet blanket.
He can grow a mean beard though.
I think I was glued on. The guy looks like an absolute drip. He acts like one. I've never seen him in anything else, but yeah, if you're looking for intimidation, no, it's not happening. I just said if you're looking for intimidation, this is not the character or the actor to do it.
Yeah,
I think I would just if he had to just stay in his uniform and turned up. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he had different intentions in mind, and then when he got there and he saw Divoff, what's his name? Divoff. Yeah. I think he was just like, all his plans went out the. What's the Mike Tyson line? Plans go away when you get punched in the face, type of thing.
Yeah, every plan's fine until the first punch lands, or every contact or every battle plans doesn't survive the first gunshot.
Yeah,
you have a plan, but it goes out the window. It's all about reaction on the spot. But
yeah,
I don't get. Once again, Gregory is not convincing me as a strong character. That's the weakest thing with this movie. The protagonist, you just can't get behind him.
Yeah, I think it could have been a casting thing. I think on paper, I think he's fine. I think the portrayal doesn't come off as tough as probably the director would have wanted. And I think it a good example of that is when she tells him that she murdered the security guard, and like instead of being like, "What are you doing?" he's still
going. Love hearts.
Yeah. Deer in the headlights. Yeah, exactly.
No, I just said the love heart. So he's still hankering after her, and he's like, dude, have you learned nothing?
Yeah.
And then the book, it says, has to be only the pure of heart or pure of spirit or something can return him, and she's not.
Right.
And even if she gets redeemed, she's not. You're not pure if you're working on a redemption arc. That would be like 20 years later. She would have to do it.
I thought that means he was going to battle. Gregory was going to battle.
I was hoping it was going to be him.
That'd be cool.
If he had been a better character, and they weren't trying to push her.
Yeah.
And he did it. Yes. And this is where here's my thing about when they involve magic or the practice of magic in movies and they try to mix up religion. It's almost like a bag of licorice, all sorts. I'll take a bit of this, I'll take a bit of that, I'll take a bit of, and shake it on, and somehow it'll work.
Yeah.
Which is what we see here. It's like, he's a Catholic priest, so he should follow Catholic priest doctrine stuff. Not mixing it up with a bit of magic from here and a bit of there. So there straight away, it's not going to work because he's not following his path.
Right.
It's the same as if a practitioner of voodoo starts throwing in stuff from Satanism and a bit of Judaism stuff, just shakes it all in the bag, mixes it up. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
it's always that thing. If you're going to see a fortune teller, or if you're so inclined, and they've got all different gadgets and stuff and bling and that, there, you just walk away from them. The one who's actually serious, protector of their craft, has the one device which is true to their calling. So if somebody uses tarot cards, they use tarot cards. They don't have a crystal ball as well, and they don't have bones, and they don't have tea leaves. You know what I mean? It's the one thing that they use, and it's simple. And this is where, once again, they're worried more about the visuals. This is where I think movies fail in storytelling terms, is to go for the visuals as opposed to a coherent story.
Right.
And it gets a bit jumbled.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and it led to what I think is the weakest part of the movie, which is the ending. Mm-hmm. I think Gregory fighting him or using the Catholic doctrine in a certain way, could have been more interesting than a kind of a retelling of the first movie, where she just uses words to trick the Djinn into giving her a wish that backtracks everything. It's the exact same ending of the first one. I was hoping for something a little different.
Well, they were going a different direction, and then they just, they bring all that stuff in, and then they don't use it.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with you.
Gregory had to find texts at his own church, not other stuff.
Right.
And using the internet, which, by the way, this is Windows 95 era. Web pages don't load that fast. Complete farce.
That was crazy.
With images as well? No.
Yeah.
No. That's still going half an hour later. God, that was 20. My first modem was 14.8K or something.
Yeah.
The 28.8K was like upgrade. Slightly faster. God, that old end of the days.
Yeah. If you wanted to go on the internet, you would start the computer, you'd go get lunch, and then you come back.
And the computer would be up.
Yeah.
And then that's before you'd even load up the web page.
Yeah, exactly.
And you needed a separate desk for your monitor, because the monitor's that bloody heavy. You needed a reinforced desk just for the monitor.
That's true.
Oh, fun times.
Apparently monitors back then were powered by a bowling ball inside, because that's what they felt like.
Yeah, you feel the centrifugal force of like that thing start up. You actually felt the universe change slightly, like whoop.
That's right.
The stuff in the streetlights all start getting all around you.
It's like
I'm downloading a video.
It's like that scene in the movie Christmas Vacation, where like the power starts going when the lights go on, and it's like auxiliary nuclear.
But yeah, I love the fact the way the Djinn just gets bored of prisons. They can draw out of people, and they've got wise to them that bad things happen, so now they're like staying away from them.
Yeah. It was more fun when they were messing with him, but that was kind of fun too. With like,
well, they couldn't stay there for. The plot had to advance forward, so it kind of made sense. Plus, if everyone that encounters the Wishmaster start meeting on timely ends, then people are going to be like, "Whoa!" and then just not talk to him anymore and shuffle away.
Yeah.
So he had to get out, and I just love the way he did it.
That was great. Yeah, turning into the the big security guard and just walking out. Yeah, but I do think that was the strength of the movie was those scenes in the jail, and he's just great. He just carries the whole movie. His scenes were fantastic, and I like the plot point where like the people in jail were great, because a lot of people want wishes and stuff like that in jail. But I like the plot point even better where it takes him to Vegas. That's where more people wish than anywhere else in the world.
And I like the way they followed on with they didn't have the mob boss, so the mob guy, the Russian guy, just as another disposable character. They actually gave him a bit of something. Yeah, and almost gave the Djinn an assistant for a time, so that worked. Right.
Yeah, I think it works better almost with an accomplice or something like that, because I feel like if you're an evil creature, you still want people to worship you. You still want.
Dracula had Renfield Frankenstein had Igor.
Yeah.
You know, you've loads. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy technically had Jesse. I just don't think they did enough of that story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's loads. Yeah, when you have a good sidekick, that's it almost makes the protagonist or antagonist in the case, it's Skeletor had Evil Lynn.
There you go. Yeah, who wants to rule over a dead world? Like, you need people to worship you or just to react to and, tell your evil plans or give exposition as to what your evil plans are. Like, I just think it worked really well. I liked having that guy in the movie with him. I thought those scenes worked really good, the Russian guy.
Yeah. And then it made sense. It advanced the plot. And then he didn't just end up in Vegas. He was sent as part of the, the mob consortium. So they went to a mob casino.
Right,
and it
right.
fit.
Yeah.
And once again, it just fitted. Like I said, the only weak thing is this is the protagonists. Like Morgana and Gregory are a bit crap.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve to win this movie.
Yeah. I think that and the ending hold it back a little bit, but still very, very enjoyable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even in the scene, like we almost get a replication of the ancient Mesopotamian scene in the first one.
Yeah.
All the carnage and that, but it's happening in the casino, and even like cheap, cheesy 90s special effects, practical ones are better, 100%, like you said, than CGI.
Yeah.
Done 5 minutes ago. Like CGI a year ago's dated horribly, and this stuff still holds up and it's still fun.
Yeah. No, they did a great job with that. Yeah. The casino scene was great. It did seem odd why they wouldn't just shut the casino down once they started realizing that everyone's winning.
But then that's what what do you call him? The concierge guy was trying to do, but he's being overruled because at the end of the day, it's the mob runs a casino, and the Djinn was in charge.
True.
So he couldn't do anything because this was his will.
Yeah.
I don't forget, there's magic at play too, so you're kind of stuck, and then when he does start closing the doors and the shutters and that, everyone's trapped on board.
Yeah. But it was a great idea, because if you think about it, that would be the place where people would be the most susceptible to wishing for whatever. I don't even think I could think of a better place. Maybe.
No, well, the prison works as well, because everyone's all about instant gratification, which leads them to their path, and don't want to work for anything, just want it all, and it's basically that. It's weak-minded people.
Right.
Don't want to contribute anything; they just want to take.
Right.
No, I mean, that's if there's a lesson here to be preached in these movies, that was it. It's you don't. It's the old, like it's horror. It's the oldest story of time. Be careful what you wish for. No, that's the whole thing. And that message was, pipe dreams don't get you anywhere. That's not inspiration. Just wishing the world to go your way doesn't work. You have to actually contribute and do something. And even then, you may not get everything. You might get part of it, but at least you head in the right direction. You'll get somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And of course,
it's fun.
The Djinn, that's what he feeds on.
Desperate people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, but then Morgana finally twigs on and says the words that puts him back in the box, and that's.
The first movie, I thought it was a brilliant twist ending. I thought that's a great way to do it. Just use the words to trick him into doing a wish that has to undo everything, and it wasn't even like an obvious one, like let's reverse time a week ago.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been fun. She said, "I wish that particular person wasn't drinking that day," because she knew.
And that was a clever bit of.
Yeah, I thought in the first movie, I thought it worked well. In this one, it didn't seem to have the same depth to it. She's like, "I wish
we've been there before."
Yeah, it's repetitive and it's not even as clever. She's just like, "Oh, I wish I didn't kill that security."
And we don't like the protagonist.
And that adds to it.
That's
too.
a massive thing.
Yeah. So I hope in the third one they have a different take on the ending. I would like to see it.
They have a different take in the fourth one, but it's strange. And like I said, I haven't seen it in 10, 15 years at least.
Yeah.
I can't
But no one
remember the
likes
third
seeing
one.
the bad guy defeated the same exact way every
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
There has to be something, you have to bring, if you're going to do sequels, you have to bring something new to the table, a twist on the original idea.
Otherwise, it just makes the bad guy look dumb. Like he doesn't see this coming. It happens every time,
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like the studio, something's got involved. They had a particular direction they were going, and it's like they reeled it back just to go into the formula.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I don't know why. They just did it.
Yeah.
But I love the scene at the end, like, I'm angry, Djinn. I'll be back.
And then the camera hits it.
Yeah, because he pops him in the face.
That's great.
Extreme close up.
It was awesome. It's got the right combination of fun and horror. It's definitely been a great find. I don't know why I missed these when they first came out, but
They were straight to DVD.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, they were straight to DVD, home cinema. There's absolutely loads of movies I got out there.
Yeah.
That didn't hit the cinema. But that was the whole thing. If you think about the early 2000s, late 90s, home cinema, that was its own market.
Yeah.
And then you had the old joke, the straight to DVD sequel.
Right.
And that's what they fucked up with streaming. If streaming had just taken the place of home market DVDs and fit it into that slot instead of trying to take over the cinema, maybe the creatives or Hollywood wouldn't be as much trouble as it is right now. I can really speak. That's twice I've fluffed up.
I knew what you
So
meant.
stream earlier on, I'm going blah, 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 blah.
Yes, but if you watch the stream backwards, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But this was fun. I liked it.
So we are back then next time with Critters 2. More fun with the Crites, some 80s goodness.
That's what I'm hoping is better than the first one. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it's more self-aware. It gets what it's
about.
Still cheesy as hell. Like, once again, these are not thought pieces.
Right.
The reason I want to bring these back in the zeitgeist again is just trying to remember when movies were just made for fun.
Yeah, I'm getting that feel.
It's just the back to, we just want you to have a good time and a laugh. Yeah. That was it. That's all they were trying to do.
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
And we need a bit of that. Everything's gone too serious and preachy and trying to be uber thought pieces when really they're fine. It's good to have a mix, but we need entertainment again.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, bud.
Speaking of entertainment, if you are so inclined, folks, available now, Horrific Tales Volume 3. If you want to read about serial killers, go and check it out. All good bookstores and some bad ones as well. That's all out there.
That's right.
Plenty more to come.
Lots of different authors. Each one better than the last, which frankly doesn't make sense and insults the first one.
Yeah, that's going to get you a lot of friends very quickly.
But each one better than the last.
Is Gary was first? Yeah, Gary's going to be happy to work with you.
Gary?
What do you mean?
Gary, I didn't say that. That was somewhat off camera.
And there you go, not happy insulting note, which has just lost me my entire author base.
Well, if you read it, you could read the 10 story, first. You don't have to read it first to 10, right?
Yeah, get it to 11.
11. Yeah. Read number 11 first and go backwards.
No, actually, ignore my story. Just get a D10. You can play about it.
And then Gary's the best again.
Just keep digging the hole there, Chris. Thanks, mate. Just keep digging. On that happy note, folks, until next time, keep updating the channel, do the technical things, and remember to keep creepy, keep it horrific.